Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today's video is the Acer Predator Triton 300. This is about a mid-range notebook in the gaming segment. I'm excited to test it out. This is going to be an unboxing and first impressions video, and this is actually the first Acer I've had on the channel. So I'm excited to get to it. So let's roll. All right, so let's get into it here. Looks like it's well packed. We'll see. Looks like we got a medium-sized box for a small box. All right. So that is it there. So as I understand it, this one kind of sits in between the Helios 300 and the Predator Triton 500. I wish I had the 500, but 300 will have to do. So this one should be pretty interesting. We'll see how well it fares. All right. Open up these seals. Okay. All right, so what do we have in here? So this is a 15-inch notebook. It's pretty heavy, actually. It's going to be our power brick in there. All right, before we get to the good stuff, let's take a look at what's in here. We got the Predator logo on the docket. Probably just some warranty. Predator premium service. So 1 year of warranty. Well, isn't that generous? Setup guide, basically how to plug it in. Don't need that. Ooh, get some stickers here if you want. Okay, I like that. All right, well, we don't really care about those manuals, so let's get to it. Oh, this is really sealed everywhere. Okay. All right, before we get into that, let's take a look at this power brick. All right, so power brick here, we have, not much, not even a logo on it. It's a pretty discreet power brick. This unit is 230 watts, so not bad. Okay, and of course we got our power cable here. Okay. All right, so let's get to the good stuff. Okay. There it is there. You got the Predator logo on it. Got a fair bit of packaging to get through. Come on. Let's get in there. Okay. So there it is there, unsheathed. Okay, so just taking a peek over the unit itself. So a couple things that are standing out. So we have these rubber grips on them. They don't feel very sticky, so we'll see how those actually fare. It doesn't give it very much stickiness on the table. That's unfortunate, but just need to be a little bit more grippy. So we've got some vents under here. We have some logo in here just saying that it's hot. So, you know, watch out, it's hot. Hopefully not that loud. So looking through the vents, you can see that they kind of put this this blue coloring on the fins themselves. Okay. Well, let's take a look at the I/O on this unit. Okay, so on the front we have, of course, our combo headphone and mic port, 2 USB 3 ports, a network port. This is killer Ethernet, so that's nice. Of course, we have our Kingston lock. On the other side, we have our USB-C. This is not Thunderbolt, but it does accept charging, which is nice. Another USB 3 port, HDMI, and a display port. That's a mini display port out. Great, and just on the back, of course, we have our both exhaust fans and then our barrel power plug. All right, let's take a look at this unit. Oh, look at that, one finger open. I like it. And we got a webcam as well. Doesn't look like it's going to be Windows Hello, unfortunately. Okay, so let's take a peek at this unit. So a couple things to note on this. This is an all aluminum design, which is nice, actually, all the way through, the bottom, top, and the deck. So that's quite nice. I think this comes in at just over about 4.5 pounds, which is pretty nice for a notebook. And because this is kind of in that budget segment, or well, budget, I call it, you know, in the medium range of the budget segment, it also is fairly thin. This is just under 20 millimeters. So that's actually pretty good to see. All right, so let's go over the specs on this unit. This unit features an i7-10750H, 6 cores, 12 threads. Also features a RTX 2070 Max-Q, not the super variant, unfortunately. It also is packing 32 gigs of memory, as well as a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD. The battery in this unit, though, is only 56 watt hours. So actually one of the smallest ones I'll be testing. So we'll see actually how well that fares with some battery tests in the full review. And of course, the other thing it has is a 1080p screen. This is 144 Hertz, but it's 3 millisecond response time and up to 100% of the sRGB. So that's actually pretty nice to see. So it also has a 720p camera, but it boasts a super high dynamic range function. So we'll actually see how that works in practice. The other thing it has is the 4th gen AeroBlade 3D technology. Also comes with 3 heat pipes to keep everything cool, but we'll see how it fares. You know, between the CPU and the GPU, those are pretty high heat output, so we'll see how good the thermal dissipation in this unit is. Also the keyboard. So the keyboard features a 4-zone RGB. The keyboard itself is actually fairly tactile. It has some good travel on the keys, which is nice to see. It might even be better than the Asus models, we'll see. And of course, it does have the full-size keyboard. So we've got our numpad over here. Of course, anytime we do have the full numpad, it does move the touchpad over significantly. Now, it does feel pretty good. It's maybe a little loud, but we'll see how that actually works in practice. Just the one thing I'm going to note right off the hop here, though, is that there's a lot of travel on the left side of the touchpad. So, yeah, that's quite significant. But we'll see how that fares in practice. And then in terms of the travel, it looks like we can get all the way, geez, probably about 150, about 160 degrees of travel on this unit. It's actually pretty good range. Most actually just come up to about here. That's about 120, maybe 130 degrees. So it's nice to see you can go all the way back like that. All right, let's power this unit on. Whoa, that's quite the startup. Felt like I was taking off there. So as this unit powers up here, I just noticed that there's some venting along the top, which is good to see. So we'll see how hot that actually gets up there when we do some gaming a little bit later. So Acer, of course, bundles their software with the unit called Predator Sense. So this will be your standard, temperatures for your CPU, your GPU, things like that. Of course, when I'm assuming when the GPU is actually active, because this does have Optimus embedded into it. We have some different fan settings. So let's take a listen to the max fan setting. So loud, that's okay. Hopefully that's not what it's going to be operating at all the time. The RGB is pretty subtle on here. The keycaps themselves actually have this white outline on them, except for the WASD keys and the your arrow keys. So you don't actually get to see very much of the RGB, of course, unless it's pretty dark out. We also have some overclocking settings, so I'll definitely put that through its paces. So this is overclocking for the GPU. We have normal, fast, and extreme. So I'll definitely showcase a little bit of what that looks like. Of course, we have what our RPMs of our fans are doing. Some monitoring. Actually, I'm liking this the center. It looks pretty slick. Great UI. So we'll see how this actually fares with some fingerprints. I just noticed that the lid has a little bit of flex in it here. Of course, you're not usually pushing on the lid of your notebook, at least in the back. So along the top, it actually has this rubberized bezel, so it gives it a nice close on the unit itself, which is good. If I was going to characterize this one, it has kind of a feeling of the Omen 15-2020 from HP. Subtle. We'll see how it actually performs compared to that, being that the Omen 2020 that I reviewed had the 2070 Super. But overall, first impressions on the surface look pretty good. You know, it's packing a reasonable spec inside of it. You know, I wish it did have the 2070 Super, but, you know, that's okay. Decent processor, so hopefully that doesn't give it too much challenge in terms of the thermal. So the one thing I wanted to touch on the Predator specifically is their fan technology. So every vendor kind of has their take on how to best cool these notebooks, especially with the components getting hotter and hotter. And the one thing that Acer has done differently, or they claim, is the Aero Blade 3D fan. So what does that actually mean? Well, they go on to say that the fan blades themselves are about 87.5% thinner than traditional fans. And they also have this 3D mechanism. Well, not really a mechanism, it's just basically another piece of plastic that slowly scoops the air. But what they're claiming is that not only does that give them about a 35% improvement in airflow, it also is supposed to do a 26% reduction in noise. So those are some pretty big claims. We'll see how that actually fares in the full review when I do the full sound check and find out what those noise levels are. I am a pretty big stickler for noise, and so I really want to have something that can still game and still be fairly quiet as well. So that wraps up the first impressions and unboxing of the Acer Predator Triton 300. Let me know what you think, guys. Let me know what you'd like me to review, anything specifically you want me to cover in the full review. That will come out in about 4 or 5 days. And I'll put a link to this notebook in the description down below. So please like and subscribe. Love to hear from you. Comment down below. Till next time, bye for now.